Jews who have been abiding by the Old Testament and who would presumably have a similar
Yeah,
problem.
but you believe the texts were corrupted by the Jews.
Well, you can ask, but I don't necessarily have to answer, and my refusal to answer.
Well, I thought you were here to defend the unity of God. If the Quran is a created text, it's a representation, that's an icon or an image of divine thoughts. How is that reconcilable with God being not like anything created?
Well, Jay, I've used the analogy with my own thoughts being represented in writing. What I put into writing is not me. That's just an expression of my thought. So if something is analogous like this with God, where God gives us his thoughts in writing, that writing itself is not God. It's only a representation of his thought. I don't understand the philosophy behind it.
So analogy, analogia, is based on some degree of similarity. It may not be univocal or absolutely equated, but it's related to the idea of some notion of similarity. But Surah 42 says that God is in no way like creatures.
Okay, well, that's exactly a point at which I would pick up and say that the real point of that, it says that God is nothing like his creatures, is to not equate anything on earth or that flies in the sky or anything that we know to be creatures with God. God is unique, he's transcendent, and he can communicate with us in the form of the Quran or mentally, but that communication itself is not God. It's just a representation of the thoughts of God. And
so it's an image. So is it an icon or an image, a symbol?
Well, no, but when you say icon, then I think of images and physical representations.
So the Quran's not the words of the Quran, and the Quran's not a physical representation of these thoughts of Allah?
If you want to press it that way, then Muslims would say that the same you can say about the Torah. The Torah then too would be a representation of the thoughts of God, and the words of Jesus.
Yeah, but I'm arguing with your theology, not Judaism.
Yeah, in my, I have not, Jay, I have not, and I've confessed this already, I have not studied the philosophy behind this deeply. I know that Muslim scholars have debated these issues, but to me, it is a dead issue. It is a debate that belongs to the Middle Ages and the thought patterns of the Muslim philosophers of that time. I don't see any difficulty saying that the Quran is a representation of the thoughts of God, or that more simply put, that it is a divine communication similar to what was given to previous prophets.
Are the thoughts distinct?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Jay.
Are the thoughts in the mind of Allah distinct or not really?
I don't know if I need to make that kind of distinction. Again, Muslim
are there any distinctions
try to make that
Allah?
distinction.
Are there any real distinctions in Allah?